Coming up on Cedar Valley Today, urban chickens. CY1 Waverly resident is bringing chickens out of the coop and into the city.
And Culture Week. See how Wartburg students had the chance to learn about their classmates' cultures.
And local high school students go green in an upcoming musical production. This is Cedar Valley Today. Hello and welcome to Cedar Valley Today. I'm Kelsey Bemis.
And I'm Nicole Lyons. When driving past one Waverly house, you may not notice it, but it is home to a small-scale chicken farm.
Cedar Valley Today's Jacqueline Schutte is here with the story. Jacqueline?
Wartburg professor Ed Weston is putting his biology education to practice by creating his own small circle of life with the help of a few hens.
The ones that I currently have are called red stars, and they're prolific egg layers that lay brown eggs. I grew them up from day-old chicks until after about 5 months they started laying eggs.
Although Professor Weston spends his days teaching biology to others, he realized there's one aspect about the subject where he had a lot to learn.
Sometime in the last 4 years or so, it's occurred to me that I have the highest degree that you can have in American education, a PhD, and yet I have no idea how to feed myself because I don't have any idea how to grow my own food.
Weston says it is not necessarily just to be healthy. Instead, he wishes to be his own grocery store. Along with growing fruits and vegetables, he cares for 6 egg-laying hens.
We take our garden scraps and our garden waste and our kitchen scraps and feed them to the chickens, and then the chickens make chicken poop and or turn anything that they don't want to eat, they turn it into the litter. And then I feed that litter to the worms, and then the worms make the soil, and then I put the soil on the garden, and the garden gives me the vegetables.
Having chickens in Waverly has only been allowed for just 1 month. Councilman Chris Neuendorf says the town's chicken ordinance is quite a new concept to put into practice, and not just for the town.
I think it says we're a progressive community, and we're willing to look at and do things that maybe could be considered outside the box.
According to the ordinance, only 4 hens are allowed per residence and no roosters. The chicken coops must be more than 25 feet from all property lines, which Neuendorf says limits the impact the chickens will have on neighbors.
There was a lot of feedback on both sides of this one, but overall I think it's been a positive experience.
For now, Weston is also seeing a small change in his grocery bill.
Well, certainly where eggs are concerned, yes.
Weston says he encourages others to learn more about where their food comes from. Back to you.
Thanks, Jackie. A reward is being offered for information on a missing New Hampton teen. Almost $600 has been raised to help find 16-year-old Ashley Roll. Roll was reported missing to the New Hampton police after she didn't return home from school on March 7th. $1,000 will go towards the reward for Roll's return and the cost used to conduct the search. Roll is described as a white female about 5 feet 7 inches tall and weighing 115 pounds. She has brown hair and blue eyes. Anyone with information about Roll is asked to call the New Hampton police at 641-394-3241.
Yesterday, University of Northern Iowa hosted the physics competition. The high school students at the competition were challenged to create mousetrap cars, soda straw arms, and catapults in preparation for yesterday's event. The students have been preparing for this competition since the beginning of January. The winners will return to UNI again this April.
And so, in other words, we're not just thinking in terms of trying to encourage students to think about physics careers, but any career that's related to science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
A group of Wartburg College students have won a $20,000 grand prize to fund a software application to reduce the mortality rate during childbirth. Wartburg representative and native to Ghana, Kwabena Owusu Omoa, presented Thursday to entrepreneurs at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology's Global Startup Workshop in Morocco. According to the United Nations, women in sub-Saharan Africa have a 1 in 16 chance of dying during pregnancy.
Wartburg College got a taste of diversity this week during Culture Week 2014. The week kicked off with a culture fair, continued with coffee and tea from around the world, and presentations including anime and LGBT issues. The week will end with a culture show tomorrow night from 7:30 to 9 in Newman Auditorium. The show will include Wartburg International students sharing their culture through music and dance.
When we learn about other places, we learn about ourselves. It's a give and take that I think is really important to developing cultural competence on campus, but also developing skills to be effective leaders.
And Cedar Valley Today's Elizabeth Jewett is here to take a first look at our forecast. Elizabeth?
Thanks, Nicole. We're going to be looking at some cloudy skies starting off on Saturday starting off today with a high of about 21 degrees. As we move on to about noon, we're going to see a high of about 41 degrees. And then as we move on to about 5, we're going to see a high of about 41. And then as we move on to tomorrow, we're going to see some sunny skies throughout the day with a high of 29 degrees. As we move on to about noon, we're going to see a high of about only 42 degrees, and then as we move on, it's going to get a little bit warmer at a high of about 41. And that's what we're going to see for our weather for today and tomorrow.
All right, thank you. Coming up after the break, one local school brings an unusual child's fairy tale to life.
And later, will we see warmer days ahead in the coming weeks? We'll take a look at your full forecast. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Cedar Valley Today. 2 firemen were killed Wednesday while trying to contain a fire in Boston. More than a dozen people were also taken to the hospital. Around 150 firefighters responded to the call at the townhouse. The fire started in the basement of the 4-story building and burned through the roof. Firewalls helped keep the fire in the building and prevented it from spreading to other buildings. A 9-year-old girl in Colorado was suspended from school because she shaved her head. Cameron Renfro was allowed back to school on Tuesday. Cameron shaved her head in support of her friend who is battling cancer. School administration said the haircut violated their dress code, but after the story went viral, they changed their minds. And another person is dead after a crash at the South by Southwest Festival in Texas earlier this month. DeAndre Tatum is the 4th person to die from injuries sustained in the crash. A car plowed into a crowd on the 13th, leaving more than 20 people injured. Rashad Owens was arrested for the crash and charged with capital murder and aggravated assault. He was intoxicated while driving. Measles has made a comeback in parts of California. 47 and counting cases of measles have been reported so far. The San Diego Health Department says the majority of the cases are in Orange County, but some have spread into the San Diego area. Officials are putting up flyers to warn people of the disease and make sure they are vaccinated. Now, police in Los Angeles raided the Los Angeles International Airport. Police served search warrants and arrested people in connection with an investigation into stolen baggage. Police say they hope to recover stolen personal items and return them to their owners. Many of the arrests were made of the contractors for airport security companies. That's all the time we have for today's Top 5. We'll send it back to Kelsey.
Go ahead. Thank you. One local school is bringing a children's favorite to the stage this weekend. Janesville's high school will perform Shrek the Musical. Here to tell me about it are 2 of the main characters, Spencer Snodgrass and Asia Baskerville. Now, thank you guys for joining us today. Now, have either of you guys done plays or musicals before? And if so, how is this one a little different than that?
So, last year, we both did a musical. We did Legally Blonde. For me, I had a actually really small part, so I wasn't doing really anything. But this year, I'm kind of the lead, I guess. So it's been a lot different for me. I'm still fine with it, though.
I agree with Spencer. I had kind of a little part. I was one of Elwood's, the main character's best friend, and we were kind of her hallelujah chorus throughout the whole thing. Mm-hmm. But this year, now that I'm Donkey, it's a lot different.
And how does this play differ from the movie Shrek?
Okay, so the movie, I guess there's almost a lot more explaining that goes through like the music and everything in the play. In the movie, there's a lot more talking that you can do, but I don't know, I personally actually like the play better.
Yeah, a lot more of like the feelings and emotions are expressed through the songs, and you don't get that in the movie.
What has it been like to prepare for those musical parts and those songs?
It's been a lot of work, actually. We've been doing it for a couple months now. Actually seems to have gone by really quick, but we've just been putting a lot of time into it, so yeah.
I'm sure. What kind of drew you to your characters? Obviously big characters, Shrek and Donkey.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think Donkey's too far off from how I actually am. I'm kind of energetic and just kind of all over the place most of the time. So.
And yeah, Shrek is, he's more of the I just want to be alone type of guy, leave me alone. The world hates him apparently, so he doesn't really hate the world, but he just accepts that he's kind of shunned.
And that relates to you, or?
No, not really.
And what are your favorite parts in the musical?
I don't know, I kind of just like going up there and having fun talking to the cast during the play.
I agree. I like interacting with the audience.
Okay. And what can people kind of expect from the show tonight?
They should just expect to have a good time, watch some high school kids have fun putting on a play for them. We try hard and we want them to just feel comfortable watching, and yeah.
Yeah, we couldn't do it without their support, so we appreciate them.
All right. Well, thank you guys for coming in.
Thank you.
The show will take place at Janesville High School at 7:30 tonight with a dinner beforehand. There will also be another show tomorrow at 7:30 and Sunday at 3. Tickets are $8 and kids under 3 are free. Next on Cedar Valley Today, Waverly Shell Rock Middle School holds their annual variety show this week. And later in sports, both the baseball and softball teams are in action this weekend. Find out when they play later on. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
We're going to take a second look for our weather for today. Starting at about 8 a.m., we're going to see some cloudy skies with a high of about 29. As we move on to about noon, we're going to see a high of about 37 with some partly sunny skies. And then as we move on throughout the day, we're going to see at 5 o'clock p.m. a high of 41 degrees. Tomorrow, we're going to see some sunny skies throughout the day starting at 8 a.m. with a high of 28. Noon, we're looking at a high of about 41 degrees. And as we move on to about 5 p.m., we're going to see about a high of 48. So it is going to warm up throughout the day. For our statewide highs, in Sioux City, we're looking at a high of about 41. Council Bluffs, we're looking at a high of about 46 degrees. Mason City is going to be about 38. Waterloo is going to be about 44. In the heart of Iowa and Des Moines, we're going to see a high of about 46 degrees. Cedar Rapids, we're going to see a high of about 47. And Dubuque, on the state line, we're going to see a high of about 45. For our national highs, starting in Seattle, we're going to see a high of about 58 degrees. LA, we're going to see a high of about 71. Denver, we're looking at a high of about 52, and Houston, we're seeing about a high of 83 degrees. Chicago is going to be the coldest we're going to see on this map with a high of about 25, New York 54. DC, we're looking at a high of about 60 degrees, and Miami, a nice warm 82. For our 5-day forecast, as I said earlier, Saturday is going to be sunny throughout the day with a high of about 50. Sunday is going to be pretty breezy with a high of 65 degrees and low of 47. Monday, we are going to see some possible thunderstorms with a high of about 60 degrees. Tuesday, we're going to see some partly sunny skies with a high of 44. And Wednesday, we're going to see some spring rain with a high of about 35 degrees. We're going to go ahead and send it back to Nicole.
All right, thanks, Elizabeth. Every year, Waverly Shell Rock Middle School performs in a variety show. This is their 38th year putting on the show for the community. Director of the variety show, Carissa Lambert, is here to tell us more about the show. Now, can you tell me a little bit about what the variety show is all about?
The variety show started 38 years ago as an opportunity for students to perform individual acts and for the choirs to have one more concert of the year, and just to kind of have a special time when there's no other sports going on, where there could be extra practices and kind of fill kids' time before track starts.
Okay, and you said it's been taking place for 38 years. Mm-hmm. How did this start?
It started in 1976 as kind of a bicentennial celebration, and it was so popular that the school encouraged Ed Van Hemert, the teacher at the time, to say we need to do this every year for the kids because it was very well received, and then it became the fundraiser for our music program.
What's it like directing this type of show where it's so popular?
It's a lot of fun. The kids look forward to it. It's steep in tradition. Kids coming up and after seeing their siblings and everybody else in it know they want to be in it, and it's the best time of year.
Is it more difficult just because you have so many different performances going on, like band and choir?
There's some coordination, obviously, that needs to go on, but that's what's exciting. You never know who's going to shine and come out of the woodwork with their talents.
All right, and how many people are involved with this?
There's about approximately 225 students and parent volunteers, 50 probably throughout the whole week of practices. Teachers step up and also volunteer to help backstage.
What's it like preparing for the show?
It's intense. There's a lot of extra practices. Kids don't always quite understand what they're getting into until they've done it through their 7th grade year. But it's very exciting. They're always wondering what it's going to be like and excited for it.
Is this a required show for all the music kids?
It is required as far as for the choral department. This is just one of our concerts. So yeah, it is required for them. The other groups that perform, such as jazz band and stage band and orchestra, I think it's a required performance for them too. Yep.
All right, and what kind of performances are there involved in the show?
As I mentioned before, there are the stage band, orchestra, jazz band. There are the 3 regular choirs that go throughout the year, the 7th grade choir, 8th grade choir, and High Flight or Honor Choir. There are also 3 added choirs for this, a women's choir, a men's choir, and then also our variety show chorus.
Okay. Is there any type of costuming involved with the show?
Individual acts can do their own costuming. We, as our main costume, just have a variety show t-shirt and black pants, and we just wear socks, no shoes.
All right. And why a variety show?
As opposed to putting on like a player musical, I think it gets more kids involved, and they aren't pigeonholed into a certain character. They can show what they're good at, whether it's dance or a duet or being an MC.
All right, and what kind of songs are you performing tonight?
Our theme this year is Legends and Superstars, so we're doing music from legendary people from the past like Michael Jackson, the Beatles, and then also music from today like Katy Perry and some country music like from Lady Antebellum and Rascal Flatts.
And can you tell me about how the community is receiving this?
Community is always excited. I'm always amazed after we go to our public ticket sales how many people come in and buy tickets even if they don't know anybody who's in the show.
All right, and can you tell me where the show is, when it is, and the cost of the show?
You bet. The final show is tonight, 7 p.m. at the middle school. Cost is $5 for adults, $3 for students, and we have a handful of tickets left tonight at 7 p.m.
All right, and again, the variety show will take place again tonight. After the break, the setup men try their luck at Blue Deviling. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Cedar Valley Today. I'm Justin Zacconi. After claiming last year's regular season conference title in the Iowa Conference Tournament, the baseball team is looking for a repeat. Wartburg was picked to finish 2nd this year in the newly released Iowa Conference preseason coaches poll. Only Buena Vista received more votes with 52. After finishing the non-conference schedule 6-6, the Knights will look to get off on the right foot this weekend as they host College in their first conference series of the season at Harrell Field. The Knights will play doubleheaders on Saturday and Sunday, both starting at 1 p.m. The softball team will look to use their current 10-game winning streak as motivation when they head to Illinois this weekend for the Augustana Invitational. The games will be played at Augustana and College. The Knights will take on UW Stout at 2 p.m. on Saturday and finish up against Augustana on Sunday at noon. With March Madness in full swing, the sports team here at Wartburg Television couldn't help but get into the crazy, hectic spirit that comes with this time of year. Cedar Valley Today's Nathan Ford, Matt Grimmer, and Seth Nutting took their try at something we like to call blue deviling.
I'm Nathan.
Hi, I'm Matt.
And I'm Seth.
And we're the setup men.
Today, we're going to be blue deviling.
Let's go!
Let's go!
Offensive.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Your shots right here. Your shots.
What was there?
Oh, that's 2 fouls. You're good to go.
2 fouls? It's just 1 foul.
No, you have already had 1.
Oh. Oh, yeah.
That's 1. March Madness 2014. Let's go.
To check out the entire Blue Deviling video and scores from the weekend, visit wartburgcircuit.org for all things Wartburg sports. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
Welcome back to Cedar Valley Today. A dog has been reunited with her owners a year and a half after going missing. Sassy the Beagle was let out one night 17 months ago and never returned. Recently, her owners found out that she is states away and in good hands. She was found injured and almost put to sleep, but was taken by a foster family. A vet recently discovered her microchip and alerted her family of her whereabouts.
And we'll take one final look at the weather. What's in store for us, Elizabeth?
Thank you. For our weekend weather, we're looking at some varying temperatures. Friday, we're looking at about a high of 44 and a low of 24. Saturday, we're going to be some sunny skies throughout the day at a high of 50 degrees and a low of 34. And Sunday, we're going to see some higher winds with wind speeds reaching about 20 miles per hour with a high of 65.
Thanks again for watching Cedar Valley Today. Be sure to tune in next week.
And don't forget to log on to the wartburgcircuit.org for the latest updates in local news, weather, and sports.
Have a great day, Cedar Valley.